Hi y'all! Welcome back to the next episode of the Passport Project Read Aloud. I'm Kellie McIntyre, author of the Passport Project. Today we are traveling to another country in Southeast Asia. We'll be traveling from Malaysia to Vietnam. Today I'll be reading a few selections from Chapter 15, The Girl in the Photo. Riley, 12. The first thing you must learn in Vietnam is how to cross the street, Phuong tells us. No joke! This is insane! I yell, so Phuong and Duc can hear me over all the honking. Today is going to be super fun because our guides are college students. Standing on the sidewalk in Hanoi, we watch millions of motorbikes zoom by. They fill the street like runners during a marathon. The drivers smush as many motorbikes into the lanes as possible. The only cars are taxis. Wow, that's impressive. Delaney points at a motorbike carrying a family of 5. Check that out. Dad points to one with a passenger balancing a gigantic flat-screen TV across his lap. Mom gasps. A woman holding a baby in one arm steers her motorcycle with the other. Another bike zooms by carrying a tower of moving boxes bungee corded together. Behind it is a motorbike with a door wedged between the driver and passenger. The guy in the back holds it straight while they zip through traffic. Vietnam's motto should be, no SUV, no problem. Crossing the street in Vietnam is the exact opposite of how we do it at home, and it's terrifying. Here is what you do. 1. Look at the oncoming traffic, which means both directions. Make eye contact with the drivers heading straight at you. And then 3, step into traffic, keep walking, and don't stop. Follow me and you'll be fine, Duc says as we step off the sidewalk into moto madness. Whatever you do, don't stop walking. If you stop, they will hit you, Phuong warns. This is the most dangerous thing we've done yet. We leave space between us and walk at a steady pace. The drivers weave around us, missing us by a hair. Miraculously, we make it across alive. Today we will visit Hanoi's most famous sites, Phuong says. The Ho Chi Minh Mausoleum, Ho Chi Minh's home, One Pillar Pagoda, and the Temple of Literature. Then we'll go to our favorite place for lunch, Duc adds. Mom whispers to Del and me, Phuong and Duc are majoring in tourism, so they give free tours to English-speaking visitors so they can practice their English. We aren't even allowed to tip them. We can only buy them lunch. Our first stop is to see a dead man. Outside of the massive square building, crowds are waiting on the skinny red carpet that leads to the front door. You might think people are lined up to see a movie star or celebrity. Not the body of communist leader Ho Chi Minh. He died the same year my mom was born, so he's been dead a long time. What's he going to look like? Mom pulls out her camera to snap a picture of the building. A guard dressed in all white yells at her to put it away. When we get inside, you must be completely silent and walk single file with your hands at your side. Don't put your hands in your pockets or cross your arms, Phuong says as the line creeps down the red carpet. Then Duc explains how scientists keep Ho Chi Minh's body in tip-top shape. He goes to Russia each fall for a couple of months of R&R, restore and refurbish. We enter the mausoleum and robot walk into the room with Uncle Ho. That's his nickname. Ho Chi Minh is lying in a glass case, like a bizarre version of Sleeping Beauty. We're lucky. He just returned from his anti-aging treatment at the Lenin lab. Those Russian scientists really know what they're doing. Besides looking a little plasticky like a Ken doll, you would never know that Uncle Ho's been dead almost 50 years. After we visit the other places on the list, it's lunchtime. We follow Phuong and Duc into their favorite restaurant. My stomach growls when I inhale the smell of Asian food. It's a hole-in-the-wall restaurant we never would have found on our own. Phuong and Duc lead us up a narrow, creaky staircase to a private room. 2 coffee tables sit in the middle of the jail cell-sized room. We plop down on straw mats and lean against the old brick walls. Phuong and Duc order since we can't read the menu or speak Vietnamese. The servers cover our table with dishes of Vietnamese yumminess. We don't ask for forks or spoons. After weeks in Asia, we are chopstick champs. After sampling all the dishes, the noodle soup is the winner. This is my new BFF, best food forever. I slurp the last of my pho, rhymes with duh, from the bowl like a local. Delaney, 14. Ciao boy sang, Mary greets us from behind the front desk. Ciao boy sang, we repeat back with our Alabama accent. That was much better, Mary smiles. Mary is our favorite employee at the Charming 2 Hotel. Every morning she gives us a quick Vietnamese lesson. When we return in the afternoon, she quizzes us to see if we still remember what she taught us. Vietnamese is a tricky language, and we usually fail the afternoon quiz. But Mary just laughs and tries again the next day. She's a patient teacher. When we finish breakfast, Mary asks, "What are you doing today?" "We're going to the Hanoi Hilton," Mom says. "What should we do after that?" "You should visit the Vietnamese Women's Museum," Mary says. "Visitors say good things about it." "That sounds so boring," Riley whispers when we reach Charming's front door. "Why are we going to visit another hotel?" I ask, stepping out of our quiet hotel into honking Hanoi. "Huh? What do you mean?" Mom asks. "You said we were going to the Hanoi Hilton. Why?" "Oh, right. I guess that is confusing. The Hanoi Hilton isn't actually a hotel. It's the prison where American prisoners of war were held and tortured during the Vietnam War. That's what our POWs sarcastically named it," Mom explains. "But now it's a museum." It's a good thing Phuong and Duc taught us how to cross the street yesterday, because today we're on our own. We explore the old quarter, taking in the local life. Along the sidewalks, people sit on plastic stools and eat. The tiny red and blue seats remind me of preschool. The men sit with their knees bent chest high, like giants sitting on dollhouse furniture. Those who aren't sitting on stools just squat. Most smile and wave their chopsticks as we walk by. Women wearing cone-shaped rice farmers' hats wander through the streets selling fruit. Long bamboo poles seesaw over their shoulders with large baskets of fruit hanging from each end. Other women have baskets filled with mangoes and star fruit, creatively attached to their old-fashioned bicycles. Every woman we pass wants us to buy some, but my dad is wearing a backpack full of bananas provided by our hotel. Không Cam Un, we politely decline and keep walking. 15 minutes later, we arrive at the Hoa Lao prison, also known as the Hanoi Hilton. A thick concrete wall surrounds the prison. Jagged glass juts from the top like shark teeth. Questions flood my brain faster than the motorbikes whizzing by. Did any Americans ever escape over that wall? Why would Vietnam make a museum out of a place that tortured American POWs? It didn't make sense at first, but now I understand. The French built the prison back in the late 1800s when they occupied Vietnam. 98% of the prison is dedicated to educating visitors on the brutal treatment of the Vietnamese people by the French. Only a tiny portion of the museum cover its role as a prison for American soldiers during the American War. Senator John McCain is the most famous American who is imprisoned here. I've seen him on TV. I know he can't raise his arms over his head because of the torture he suffered for nearly 6 years. But the photographs hanging on the walls show American POWs playing basketball and decorating a Christmas tree, as if the Hanoi Hilton offered its guests fun activities to pass the time. I call BS. That was hard to see, Dad says after we leave. The propaganda was disgusting. They made it seem like a country club for the POWs. Mom shakes her head. Every country gets to tell their version of history, don't they? I ask. We walk in silence to the Vietnamese Women's Museum. Even Riley doesn't complain. It's weird to think America was part of a terrible war here less than 50 years ago when my parents were kids. And now we're visiting a place where many Americans died. In 30 years, will I take my kids to visit the countries that are war zones right now? Will the dangerous destinations we wouldn't dream of visiting today become tomorrow's vacation hotspots? We spend a couple of hours in the Women's Museum. A documentary explains what the fruit sellers must do every day to survive. Their day starts at 3 in the morning and goes downhill from there. I'm ashamed at how easy my life is compared to theirs. I'll never complain about my measly chores again. When we leave, we buy fruit from everyone. Delaney, 14. We're doing what? I nearly choke on my scrambled eggs. Spending the day in international school. You'll get to be around kids your age. It'll be fun. Seriously? How does Mom come up with this stuff? Yay! What are you going to wear? Riley asks, as if tomorrow's the first day of real school and we have a closet full of cute outfits instead of a suitcase full of crumpled clothes. I should be hyped. This is my first chance to escape my parents' presence in 2 months. But I'm not. I've never been the new kid. Today, that's going to change. As we ride bikes to Green Shoots International School, Mom fills us in. There are only 16 students. Most are Australian or French, and they moved to Hoi An because of their parents' jobs. The kids go to this school because it's English speaking. This sounds awful. I don't want to do this. My sweaty palms slip on the bike handles. Well, we can't leave Riley all alone, Dad says. It'll be fine. Ugh. I want to go back to our guest house with them. That's how much I'm dreading this. But no amount of begging helps. We roll up to the campus, a white and green building with a few classrooms and a grass field surrounded by palm trees, and leave our bikes at the front gate. The principal introduces himself, and my parents hug us goodbye. How can they do this to me? Aren't they going to be bored without us? We kick our shoes onto the pile at the front door, and Mr. Stan takes us to meet our new classmates. I want to throw up. An Australian boy runs up. Good day, I'm Max. Want to meet my mates? Sure, Riley says. His accent is so cool. Max leads us to the outdoor lunchroom. We sit on 2 empty stools at a bamboo table surrounded by palm trees. The students swarm us like kids to an ice cream truck. They range in age from 7 to 14, and they are equally intrigued by the 2 American newbies. Come play our favorite game. 11-year-old Evie tugs my shirt and runs to the field. Max explains the rules, but they make no sense. We just fake it and join the fun. Equal parts of sweat and dirt cover us when the game ends. Blood runs down the legs of two boys. No one whines or asks to see the nurse. There probably isn't one. After the game, we follow the kids into a classroom. 3 tables form a U shape with 10 chairs around it. Fans spin on the walls, cooling down the tiny room with open doors and windows. Mr. Stan assigns us buddies. I'm paired with Max, the only other 8th grader, to work on math, and Riley works with a 7th grader named Sean. It soon becomes clear that we aren't going to get much work done. Max, Evie, and I are too busy discussing the differences between our school and theirs. There are 500 students in 3 grades? Max's jaw drops. They laugh every time we say, y'all. We can't get enough of their Aussie phrases like mates, Barbie, and my personal favorite, good on ya. I love your accent, I say. We don't have an accent, you have the accent, Evie jokes. Mr. Stan finally gives up on teaching and we play cultural comparison instead. At the end of the day, my parents are waiting for us. They and the other parents line up on bikes and motos outside the gate. There are no SUVs or minivans in this carpool line. They now seem absurd. The giant vehicles that Americans drive to haul purchases from Target and Costco. How was it? My parents ask. It was the best day of my life. Can we enroll? Riley, 12. Mary and Tuan would make a cute couple, I say, as we pedal along the river in Hanoi. Aw, they would, Delaney agrees. But they should definitely live here. Hoi Ann's so charming. Tuan is the host of our guest house. He is so cute and friendly, just like Mary from Hanoi. He organizes group dinners for guests twice a week. I sure hope some other kids are staying there. We explore the ancient town on bikes. Bright-colored lanterns fill the shops and hang across the streets like banners. We ride across the bridge that crosses the river. 2 tiny women with giant smiles greet us. They carry baskets of fruit swinging from the poles, seesawing across their shoulders. We stop and buy a couple of bananas. Can we take a picture with you? I ask, making the camera clicking sign with my hand. They nod and smile and Mom snaps our picture. You know what I love about Vietnam? I steer my bike with one hand while eating the banana with the other. What's that? I'm tall here. In elementary school, I was always assigned the same spot on class picture days, the end of the front row. That's where the shortest kids always sit. But here, I tower over adult women. It's so weird to go from being the little 7th grader to the tall American girl, with nothing changing except geography. I'd gladly go to middle school here, I continue. Why's that? Delaney cocks her head. Because no one is tall or curvy. I'd fit in perfectly. The girls in my school are divided into 2 groups, curvy and not curvy. The boys are obsessed with the curvy girls. It's so annoying. Passport lesson number 8. There are 2 sides to every story, especially war. Most people only know the version their country tells. But there are 2 weapons more powerful than hate, love and forgiveness. That is all for today's episode. There's so much more in the Vietnam chapter, and I do hope that you'll read that on your own. I hope you'll join me for the next episode when we'll be traveling to Australia. Until then, dream big and travel far.